Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. We talking about the Chicago Bears, and if we talking about the Chicago Bears, we gotta bring in my man, Coach Marcus Floyd, to come give us some insight. Also, man, check Coach out, Perspective Leadership Academy, high school basketball coach. Their team is raw. Check them out. They 15-2. And make sure you also listen on Spotify, go on YouTube, hit that bell, subscribe to this. Leave a comment. We do respond. The Chicago Bears had a real negative season. It was a lot of negativity going on with the Bears, no matter if it was the players, the coach, the front office, the chairman, the CEO. I mean, even Virginia McCaskey was getting handed to her by everybody. But, Coach, is there any? Give me some. We need to uplift the Bears fans here. Give me something positive about the Bears.
Oh wow, positive about my Chicago Bears. Let's look. Got three players that is very positive I want to talk about. First off, let's start off with David Montgomery. I think that's always a bright spot. He got injured this year, but he was able to battle back and has 7 touchdowns in 13 games. Would like to see a little more, but I think with a different offensive plan, I think he has shown that he could be a serviceable back. He could catch the ball out the backfield. I think he is a bright spot. If any head coach will find some way to get him the ball, that's a very bright spot. Which even last year, coming off a 1,000-yard season in 14 games, played a full season, he'll always be a 1,000-yard back. Secondly, we're going to talk about the receiver, Darnell Mooney. They found him in the 5th round. We had a lot of praise about him. We still have a lot of praise. One of the bright spots on the offensive side of the ball that was good. He was able to see have a 1,000-yard season. Darnell Mooney, definitely a bright spot. Definitely got to put some talent around him to make his job a little easier. Felt him and Justin Fields got a rapport. I know we're talking about without Justin Fields or whatever, but they definitely got a rapport. And this is just me. I know I see the message boards, I see the Twitter, I see our group chats that people is not high on our tight end, but our tight end had 60 receptions. He left a lot on the table. I will say he left a lot on the table. His physicality definitely shows up. We want to see more of that. We want to see him, we said this last year on the show, that we would like to see him using that physicality and holding on to the ball, maybe making some more catches, helping his quarterback out. I remember early in the year, Justin Fields, a young rookie, he dropping some 3rd down key balls that could have changed the game around, but having 60 receptions as a Bears player, that's pretty good. I remember there was years where some of our receivers didn't come close to 60 receptions, and I know it's a passing league now, but that's something as a bright spot. Going into his year 3, people are not high on him, but he did have major improvement. Major improvement, and anytime a player has major improvement from year 1 to year 2, you just only could hope that they're going to just keep improving. So he's ascended in the right way. So those are 3 bright spots on the offensive side of the ball.
And piggyback on Cole Kmet, he had that, like you say, he had some drops, but he has been the most productive tight end since Martellus Bennett.
Without a doubt.
Looking at the stats, the man, he improved from his freshman, his rookie year to his sophomore season in the NFL. Definitely. He just need the drops. I just got frustrated with the drops.
Yes.
Hold on to that ball.
You and Chicago, we are Bear Nation. Now, once again, a lot of people were very down on Cole Kmet. That's why I put my disclaimer in there, like I am being a Bears homer, saying Cole Kmet and just looking at his bright spots. But there is some bad as well. There is some bad as well.
No, you brought up a good point. And 60 catches is a lot of catches for a second-year tight end. So that is impressive, however you look at it. Look, help me out here. I'm so down on the Bears. I've been the most negative. I've probably been the most negative Bear fan the last couple years. Help me out. Give me some positive. Marcus gave me a few positive. I'm okay. But I need some more. Give me some more.
Okay, well, I got something positive, man. You would have thought that the perennial All-Pro Khalil Mack would have broke the Super Bowl MVP Richard Dent's Bears record of 17.5 sacks. But no, it was Robert Quinn, and it didn't take him 17 games to break the record. No asterisks on the record, okay? And Robert Quinn was number 2 in the NFL in sacks, 18.5 sacks. He had more sacks than Myles Garrett, more sacks than Nick Bosa from the 49ers, okay? Yeah. And then he was coming off his worst season of his career. He only had 2 sacks in 2020 and had a major improvement. Now, Robert Quinn and Khalil Mack, both of those guys are signed through the 2024 season. You guys, I think you guys want to trade one or both of those guys. Y'all want to blow it up? We'll see what the GM wants to do. We'll see what he wants to do. I say keep them. I say keep those guys, and you know, that's what I get to look forward to. We can sack the quarterback. So, hey, you know what? We bashed Robert Quinn last year when he had that horrible season. He had a huge bounce back. I don't remember seeing a Bear have a bounce back season like that. I do not remember somebody. So he had the biggest bounce back season by a Bear that I've ever seen. So I gotta give him his props.
No, definitely. He definitely came. Yeah, he definitely came up. I mean, all y'all made good points. I mean, of course, for me, it's just Roquan. Roquan being Roquan. I mean, he was all over the field. Got even better this year. Like, he was already a monster his rookie year. Second year, he started off slow, but then he picked it up and finished so strong. And then last year, once again, he balled out. He balled out the entire season. Probably the best middle linebacker in the game. Bears, don't pay this guy right now so you don't have no contract disputes. Go on and get it out the way. Just get it out the way right now. Let it. You know, don't waste no time. Okay, so
he made a second team All-Pro, right?
Yeah, second team All-Pro. Yeah. He did.
Second year, one more. Got snubbed from the. Which you rather do All-Pro than the Pro Bowl anyway? Yeah. Because the Pro Bowl only got like one on each conference, but we'll rather have All-Pro than Pro Bowl.
Yeah. I will tell you one more guy, Travis Gibson. Okay. The man, he had 7 sacks, 5 forced fumbles. He came up. He was like, he filled in nicely for Khalil Mack. So I got, shout out to him too. He did good. I got to give him his props.
Yeah, he did. So Roquan, I think I do like Jalen Johnson.
Yeah,
I do like Jalen Johnson. I think he is a good cornerback. I think he could just get better. He could be the guy that follows number 1 receivers. He got a lot of practice this year. Win against Devontae Adams. I mean, he did good against Devontae Adams, Green Bay. Now, Devontae Adams' numbers was big, but the Green Bay switched the offense around a little bit.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they switched the offense.
They put him in a slot position away from him. Yeah. So that's when Devontae killed us. Yeah. But I'm not saying like Jalen to shut down Devontae, but they definitely put him in a slot position, and that's when he started really just killing us.
Because that first half, he was on Devontae Adams. Yes. He did a magnificent job. That was just one game. I'm not saying he's going to do that every time they play, but in that half, he was all over. So that showed me a lot right there. He's not scared of the moment. He's not scared to go against the best guy, so that's good. Because in this league, y'all say it's a passing league. That's why cornerbacks are so important, because it's such a passing league. You need that cornerback who can go guard the other team's best receiver. Darnell Mooney came back, had a good rookie year, had an even better year this year, even as a number 1 guy, where Allen Robinson was hurt most of the year, and everybody knew that they was going to. He still found the way to get open and get his yards and get over 1,000 yards. So I think he's going to be good. I don't know if he's a number 1 receiver per se, but he is a really good receiver.
He killed the Vikings, had like 12 receptions on like 120 yards.
And David Montgomery, I think he's the real deal at running back. He can do it all. He can break tackles. He can catch out the backfield. If he has to run for 20, 30 times a game, he can do it. You by the goal line. Well, see, the problem is he probably have more touchdowns than the Bears can find themselves in the red zone and give him the ball more often.
Well, the next coach probably won't go shotgun in the red zone so much. Yeah. So then he'll probably have better numbers.
Yeah, I think that'll help him out. But so it's a few positives, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes out. Once again, this all is predicated on who the Bears hire as coach and GM. So now let's talk. Now back to the negativity. Let's get back to the. Let's get back to the record. The record was negative. So, we talked about like all the bad things with the Bears. I mean, we've been talking about the bad things with the Bears for 18 weeks now. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just been ridiculous. So, Adi, but out of all the bad things we talked about, what was the worst thing? You was just like, man, this is something. What the heck is this?
Well, you know what? So the Bears was the worst team in the NFL in sacks allowed, okay? Mm-hmm. And when looking at the Bears All-22 film, Cody Whitehair stood out as to giving up too many quarterback hurries, knockdowns, and sacks, okay? Mm-hmm. Now, the free agent to be, James Daniels, he looked very solid out there for us. and even Jason Peters, okay, Pro Football Focus rated.
He played good. I can't lie.
Yeah, he was rated as the best Bears offensive lineman this year by Pro Football Focus, right? Yeah. But Cody Whitehair getting beat off the line of scrimmage with swim moves and even bull rushes, okay? And Pro Football Focus had him ranked as the 46th best offensive lineman, offensive guard in the NFL for 2021. And so,
and he's been in the Pro Bowl the last couple seasons.
Yeah, and Whitehair, he allowed the most sacks in his career this past season. So in his 6-year career, and so he's 29 years old. He needs to figure out. I mean, he needs to definitely improve himself, get stronger, or whatever. He's 29 years old, man, and he's making about $9 million a year. And so
next year.
Yeah. So he's got to improve, man. I was disappointed with Cody Whitehair. Like, a lot of people think about pass protection, think about the left tackle, right tackle. Yeah. Most of the pressure came from up the middle.
Inside.
Yeah. So that was disappointing.
That's a great point, Adi. Coach, we talked about all the bad things. What was something Lou like? This was just terrible. This was awful.
So when I look at disappointment, I always think about your expectation.
Yeah.
We said this team, I think I had the highest win total. I might have said 8. You guys might have said 6 or 7. We knew this wasn't going to be a very good team. We didn't know what to expect from the offense.
Nope.
We didn't know what to expect from the offense.
Right.
But one thing we did expect to dominate was what? The defense.
Defense, yeah.
And they did not.
No, they didn't.
And that was my biggest disappointment, was the defense. Defensive scoring. We gave up 24 points a game. Ooh. That was 21st ranked in the league. We gave up. We were 22nd against the run. Oh. Now you thinking about all the money, and this is go back to our earlier conversation. All the money that was invested towards the defense, it should have been one group that was stable.
Yeah.
And some games our offense was better than the defense. Some games our defense was better than the offense. Some games it might have been our special teams. But my biggest disappointment, every time I watched the Bears game this year, I expected the defense to just at least disrupt the game. Even if we was going to win or lose.
Right.
I expected consistency out of the defense. And that was my biggest disappointment, was the defense. Who want to take some blame? Was it a young, new coach? Was it they gave up some Kyle Fuller? I'm talking about the total defense. Yeah. We couldn't stop the run. We couldn't tackle. It was just, some days was a complete nightmare. Statistically at times, at the first couple weeks of the season, they were getting sacks or whatever. But I love what Robert Quinn did. But at the same time, I think some of them was what we call empty calories. Empty calories or whatever. Yeah. It was, getting sacks and meaningless times of the game and things of that nature. I want to see the defense and keep us. And if we look back, there was 2 weeks in a row. If we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers and we look at the Baltimore Ravens, when our offense, we were shocked that our offense made come from behind.
San Francisco too.
Oh, okay. It was games where our offense shocked us.
Yep.
All right, and all we needed was the defense to make us stop.
Facts.
Stop. Yep. And so that was my biggest disappointment, because my expectations for the defense was here, my expectations for the offense was here, and the offense sometimes was better than the defense.
That's not good.
So that's what my biggest disappointment for the 2021 Bears was. Our defense was 21st ranked in scoring, average 24 points. Gave up 24 points a game.
If anybody's worse than the Bears offense, that's sad. If somebody's saying the Bears offense is better than you, that is a terrible thing to go. That is awful. It's awful. Okay, so you cannot dispute that. Listen, defense, Marcus laid out the points. He's right. The defense, all that money, but I'm still going with the damn offense. Look, 16.8 points a game. This is the NFL. This is a big boy league right here. What are y'all doing? It's been 4 years of just terrible. I mean, it's been 7 years of terrible offense. But this regime that we just came off of, I mean, the first year they had some numbers, but for the most part, it's just been terrible offense. No matter who's playing quarterback, no matter who's at tight end, no matter who's at receiver, who's playing the line. It's just been terrible offense in every game. We have to struggle to score 13 to 16 points. Okay, this point, we got to up these points up. 16.8 points a game, and you in the same division as Aaron Rodgers. You got the Vikings with Justin Jefferson, Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
You know, that's not going to cut it. That's not going to cut it. Don't get me wrong. The defense definitely was disappointing this year. But 16.8 points a game, like enough. Enough. When are we gonna get over this?
Yeah, a big problem. You know, Allen Robinson in 2020 he had 151 targets. This past season, 2021, 66 targets. So that was a huge. They should have definitely featured him more in the offense. I mean, and I know that he got.
But what they averaged last year? They finished strong the year before that. This year, the year before last year, they only averaged. Well, they had some inflated numbers when Mitch Trubisky got put back in the game.
Yeah, he got put back in the game.
And they had a couple games.
They ran it up on a couple teams.
So they didn't score a lot of points, even with Allen Robinson getting 151 targets. They haven't scored. The year before, they didn't score a lot of points. So it's just they cannot score. And you're not going to win no football game and expect to be a good team if you can't put that ball in the end zone. I'm not saying they're going to be Tampa Bay or the Kansas City Chiefs, but you got to at least be able to put up 20 to 25 points a game.
True.
You have to be able to do that. You're not going to win in this league if you can't put up at least 20 to 25 points a game. Sorry, I'm just saying.
29 the highest against Pittsburgh? Did they score any?
Yeah, no, they scored
30 against Green Bay, right?
Did they score 30 against Green Bay?
30 to 45.
30 to 45.
That's right.
But we only scored 3 points in the second half.
Yeah, so they 2 highest scoring games they lost.
Yeah, that's crazy. And you brought up a good point. The Pittsburgh game, it was less than a minute left, I think, when Big Ben got the ball back. The Bears, all they had to do, the Bears' defense has been good these last few years, but they have blew some games. Let's go back to the 18 playoffs. That great defense, the Bears had the lead. It wasn't a lot of points, but they was up 16 to 15. The defense let the Eagles come down and score.
Get down to score too.
You know what I'm saying? That's not talked about enough. But that's hearsay. So, but definitely the offense. We got to see more than 16.8 points a game. It's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. So, Coach, we talked about everything. So we know the Bears have a lot of issues. They got a lot of problems. They got a lot of fixing to do. And me and you both want to blow it up, but Adi don't want to blow it up. He want to keep Mac and Quinn and company. He bring them back. But going into this off season, what is the Bears' biggest need?
There's 2 positions that we knew one was just terrible going into the year. That's cornerback, and then looking at to keep up with today's NFL. Looking at the free agents, Allen Robinson, we know is not coming back.
Yeah.
Our wide receiver room is horrible.
Yep.
I want to say cornerback, but we at least got Jalen Johnson, and you mainly, to be a good team, you mainly need 3 corners. But I think to be a good NFL team, you need about 3 to 4 receivers.
Absolutely.
And right now, we have, you said a minute ago, you don't know if he's a number 1. I don't think he's a number 1.
Yeah.
He's great. Darnell Mooney, I think he's a number 2. Really good number 2. We don't have a number 1. We don't have a number 3. We don't have a number 4. Wide receiver, is by far, to me, the biggest need this team need. And I'm not even talking about just one wide receiver. We need multiple wide receivers. Once again, if I'm looking at building this team around Justin Fields, we're going to have to do better than having Jesper Horsted going out on routes and
J.P.
Holtz. And
Jesse James.
Jimmy Graham, is he coming back next year? They bringing Graham back?
So I know one thing: we had the most tight ends in the NFL, but whatever that means.
Like 5.
But I definitely, if you're going to keep up, I'm looking at the Rams. They got Van Jefferson. They got Odell Beckham. They got Cooper Kupp.
Yeah.
You just go through the playoff teams and look at the different wide receiver rooms they got. You could just name off wide receiver after wide receiver. Our Super Bowl champs. You had Godwin. You had Evans. You had Antonio Brown. You had, you just looking at even McKenzie with the Bills have just became a star.
Sanders.
Yeah, Emmanuel Sanders. Sanders, Cole Beasley.
Yep.
You just go through each team and you could just name
Cowboys.
you could just name
Multiple
wide
guys.
receivers.
Yeah.
But right now, looking for the 2022 season, we have Darnell Mooney and
Allen Robinson's a free agent. They probably gonna let him walk.
he ain't coming.
Demir Bird is he had a hell of a catch against Seattle for the game in the
Great
2-point
catch,
conversion. That was a hell of a catch.
Godwin,
Yes,
what
it
about
was.
Godwin? What was his name?
Chris Godwin.
Chris Godwin?
No, Marquise Goodwin.
Marquise
Goodwin.
Goodwin. He's a free agent.
He's a free agent. So,
We got Daz Newsome
so we got right now we got Daz Newsome
and Mooney.
So by far, Justin Fields is like, he better get on the phone with some of his old Ohio State buddies, or he better get on the phone and say he just needs some people to just walk through the door at this point, and we need some some people come home on some discounts.
Yeah,
because
you brought up
our
Chris.
wide receiver room is horrific right now.
Yeah, it's horrible. I mean, Roach brought up Chris Godwin. He's a free agent. But the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he's a free agent.
Yeah.
You have Mike Williams for the Chargers, a free agent.
He started off good this shit, then it just went away.
Yeah, he made some
I don't know
big
what
catches.
happened. He did, but
He's a big guy. You got Michael Gallup.
I like Gallup. I like
Juju
Gallup.
Smith-Schuster,
Yes.
Christian Kirk, DJ Sharp.
Christian Kirk, he can go deep now.
Yeah.
So it's I don't care what GM they bring in, what coach they bring in.
Yeah.
They can bring in Stevie Wonder, and Stevie Wonder gonna say, "Hey, I'm looking out here, and we don't have enough
He
receivers."
said I was looking at Hey, great. Hey, Adi, biggest offseason needs for the Bears.
Well, you know what? If we can't stop Aaron Rodgers, we got to stop Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon.
Okay.
Now, Marcus brought up we was bad against the run. You know, he brought that up.
True.
And it's because Eddie Goldman hasn't been the same since he opted out of that 2020 year. He just had his worst season of his career, okay? Like, I don't even know if he want to play football anymore, like Marcus said,
That's fair.
okay?
That's fair.
And unfortunately, Akeem Hicks, this man, he stayed on the injured list. He's a free agent. He's 32 years old, okay? Bilal Nichols, he's also a free agent. We should definitely re-sign Bilal Nichols. You got Mario Edwards Jr. and the boy Blackson, Angelo Blackson.
Yeah.
They're both signed next year, okay?
Tonga did pretty good.
Tyrus Tungle from BYU.
He was actually solid.
He has some potential.
Yeah.
He has, he's a big, huge guy. I want him to improve next year. But we missing that DeForest Buckner, Cameron Hayward type of dude on the D line. We need to get this. We know the Bears are known. We always have like a nice D lineman to wreak havoc. Give him top of that running back.
Well, that was Akeem Hicks before he started getting hurt. That was Hicks.
Yeah,
That was Hicks.
That was Hicks.
Yeah.
I mean, 2018, you had Goldman and Hicks. They was pretty much killing. You know what I'm saying?
Wasn't no running on that team.
Yeah, and now Goldman, you know, he's signed through 2023, but he might, I don't know what he's doing. And then you got Hicks. He's one of the best defensive lineman free agents right now. Somebody gonna get a pretty good defensive lineman if the Bears let him walk, which they probably will because he stayed hurt. But
And I don't know if you guys knew, the last game of the year he got into it with the coach.
Yeah.
He didn't even take the trip. He didn't show up.
I thought he was hurt.
Yeah, he ended up getting into it. Yeah, he was hurt, but he didn't even make the trip. They was expecting him to get on the plane, and he some type of way got into it with the coach. Didn't even show up. They didn't even hear from him. So that was a report that came out.
Yeah.
So he probably ain't.
He ain't coming back.
The D line, man, they got to do something about this D line. Hopefully, Tunga gets much better, but yeah, we need to fix that D line.
Yeah, I hear you on the D line. I hear you. But offense, listen, it's all about Justin Fields now. Like it's all about making sure, doing everything you can to put him in a position to succeed. So wide receivers, offensive linemen, that's what I'm looking for right now. Now, when the defense suffer because of that, probably so. Probably so. But we need to get this part of this side of the ball right. Why you got a talent quarterback, or you at least gonna see if he's talented if you put like the weaponry around. We talked about Joe Burrow. You see what the Bengals did? They put a cast. That's LSU. Like I said, that's LSU 2.0 right there. All those great receivers and Joe Burrow just out there flinging and looking fantastic. We need those type. I want a T. Higgins. I want a Jamar Chase on the Bears. You know what I'm saying? We need one of these guys.
I take T. Higgins.
Yeah, I take T. Higgins. What's the other receiver? I take him.
Oh, boy, Tyler Boyd.
I'll take Tyler Boyd.
Yeah.
So we need some of these guys. The Bears need one of these guys on their team to pair with Justin Fields so they can develop together. Okay, so they need receivers, offensive linemen. They need to make sure that line is straight. But overall, what they need the most is the coach and GM. I'm sorry. they have to figure this out. They got to get this dynamic correct because we don't know who to blame. We don't know who to blame. When Mitch was a quarterback, a lot of people, Nagy pretty much threw Mitch under the bus. Let's just call it what it is. You know, he probably went to the front office and said, I can't win with this guy. This guy can't play quarterback. Then he benched him in his third year. Benched him after he was 2-0, threw that bad pass against Atlanta. Matt Nagy's seen enough. He's seen enough. And lo and behold, Nick Foles comes out there and goes crazy in the second half, and the Bears end up winning the game. But then after that, it just was ugly. And you had to go back to Mitch. And then Mitch comes back and somehow, in a weird way, lead the Bears to the playoffs and save Matt Nagy's job while Matt Nagy continued to throw him under the bus. But with that being said, so there's been no success under any quarterback. So in a long time, in any regime for the Bears. So Matt Nagy had Dalton, Nick Foles, Mitch, Justin, didn't work with anybody, I guess. So you have to make sure this position is together. You draft, once again, you traded another first round pick. We don't have a first round. The Giants have the Bears' first round pick this year. So now that this capital gone, so you got to do everything in your power to make sure he succeeds. So I'm all about the offensive side of football this year. Now, will the defense suffer because of that? Probably so. Probably so. But right now, you got to get this. You got to get this together.
We got to fix that 16.8.
Yeah, that 16.8 ain't gonna get you nowhere. Okay.
Before you end the show, I do want to say you talk about the offensive line real quick. You know, the left tackle, Tevin Jenkins. All right, is he gonna be the left tackle? I don't know. Now you look at the free agents. You got Terron Armstead, 3-time Pro Bowler, age 30 with the New Orleans Saints. You got Orlando Brown with the Chiefs. They probably not gonna let him go. Cam Robinson with the Jaguars, and you got Eric Fisher with the Colts. Those guys are left tackles. Can the Bears get one of those guys and put Tevin Jenkins at right tackle? We'll see. And then the cornerback position. That is the worst position on the Bears team. You have Stephen Gilmore from the Panthers. That's a free agent. J.C. Jackson.
Are you a free agent?
Yeah. J.C. Jackson's a free agent. Casey Hayward from the Raiders.
He's enough.
Dante Jackson from the Carolina Panthers. And our old friend Bryce Callahan from the Broncos.
Best
free agent.
Best nickel they had. Oh my goodness.
So,
that was the best nickel they had.
Yeah. So the offensive line, left tackle. I don't know if Tevin Jenkins gonna play left tackle, cornerback. We need a starting quarterback on the opposite of Jalen Johnson, and we need a nickel back.
Yeah.
Our cornerback, the only good cornerback we got is Jalen Johnson.
Well,
You didn't like Borum?
Borum?
Larry Borum?
Oh yeah, Larry Borum, the right tackle. Yeah.
He played solid.
Yeah, I think he played solid.
He
He
was
was solid. He was a fifth or sixth round pick.
He was a 5th round pick, and I just don't feel comfortable with Tevin Jenkins playing left tackle.
Okay.
Borum was decent, so I would say Tevin Jenkins and Borum battle it out for the right tackle.
I like that.
I know we got to go, but real one question. I know Nagy was trying to save his job, but it's game 17, and we had the old guy playing left tackle. Tevin Jenkins didn't get no snaps.
I thought he was hurt.
Ain't that the game you try to like? I know Nagy was probably just trying to save his job.
Yeah.
But like, ain't that the game where GM or somebody step in and say, "Can we see this guy play?
Yeah.
Can we get some film on this guy?"
If he was healthy, he should have played.
He should have played. I didn't realize he didn't play.
He didn't play. Yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. Hey, well, you just don't know with the Bears sometimes. Hey, you've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach, along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wally. Thanks to Coach Marcus Floyd for helping us out, giving us some Bears insight. In the meantime, in between time, we out. Peace.